before. If you look at the club.
Was it last week? Yeah. The girl. MCGURR. Okay.
As you go into, you know, you do the commercial stuff with the albums and stuff like that, but then it leads into something else. Okay. Which is also very important to understand, because it's really the genesis of the concept of streetwear, right? Now all of a sudden, like, well, if we resurface from the trains, what do we apply this to? And many of us were like, well, what's next? You know, some kids were in art school, so they were getting formalized and saying, well, we can study architecture, design. I was a fashion design student and art and design, and we were kind of like wayward, like what happens when graffiti dies? Yeah. And so as it was dying, Futura was already kind of setting yet another trajectory for the name and the brand. So GFS comes into play. GFS, yeah. Please, let's start with that.
Okay, so as you're saying, and not for nothing, Keith has showed us how to do that in the 80s with the pop-up shop, right? Keith's idea was, yes, and much to Andy's sort of tutelage, was that, yeah, you can be a fine artist, you can delve into the commercial world, you can do products, you can put your name on something, you can make a product and put your name on it, had sort of already done something where they did a subway, like an architectural schematic of a subway car. And I saw it, I was like, that's clever. Because they found the bridge for me. Like I saw that and I was like, that's the bridge. Because we all have this graffiti history. And yeah, we can't survive in the gallery. We're actually too ahead of our time. Which took years to manifest. Because at the time, okay, so at the end of SE Studios, we had maybe 44 canvases were made by 42 different people. Somebody did 2 each or whatever. But so we had a really beautiful array. And the collection that Sam envisioned was made. And by the way, Sam's idea was, we're doing this and we're archiving it. And we're going to revisit this in 10 years, in 20 years. And not for nothing, recently, a very famous artist, whose name will not be mentioned, bought the whole. So, and God bless him buying it because he's going to do the right thing by it. His name starts with a K. However, we did all that, and I did nothing but direct. I stretched all the canvases, I planned them. You know, I was kind of like the main artist guy in that space, making anything available for whoever wanted to do whatever. And I didn't paint until the very end. Like when everybody was done, I went and did a painting based on having witnessed everybody paint, which was amazing, right? I saw like whatever was created during the studio hours. I opened and I closed, and I saw everything in that 2-month period. I saw everybody paint. I saw people painting left-handed. I saw people painting upside down. I saw everything, and really it was such an education for me as just a creative guy watching people work, which to me is still the beauty of any, like, seeing someone do what they do. That's the essence. It could be a theatrical performance. Oh, look at the B-boys. Oh my God, look at him. Just watching someone do something is awesome.
We're gonna move up a little bit because now the break whole car happens.
Yeah.
And then a couple.
So wait, let me just quickly say. So at the end of that season, I had realized, like, man, I can't compete. I cannot compete with all these guys. I mean, I was kind of okay with letters, but there was so many better style masters, as far as the alphabet went. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try something different. And by the way, I am Futura, and this kind of almost makes sense in like, well, what should Futura's work look like? Okay, should it be just derivative of him and him and him and him and him and you? No. Let me go off on a tangent.
So what was influencing that? Was it modern art, or was it in your head?
Yeah, it's always been in my head. And it was just about trying to find my own space. Like just get somewhere that I'm not part. I mean, I always want to be part of it, but I want to also people understand, yeah, I'm part of it, but I'm me. And I thought graffiti was very great at that, in that everyone's tag was completely unique.
Right, and what's interesting is that when you started developing that painting, these icons, right? And you can better describe.
You mean like elements in my work?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you could kind of name some of them that you used.
I mean,
the towers.
The cranes, which kind of came from radio transmissions. And oh, by the way, prior to 1980 and all that, I spent 4 years in the U.S. military.